I need to tune into a broadcast of my favorite late night show from the 70s. Here's hoping that something evil doesn't get summoned tonight. Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your BFF Snowy Oreo 663 here, right now. And for day 5 of the Scare-A-Thon, we have a unique one with Late Night with the Devil. It's another one that I haven't seen, but it appeared on a few lists of great horror flicks from the 2020s. And I love new spins on found footage horror, so I'm pretty pumped for this one. I'll start with a brief synopsis, go into my thoughts, and then dive into spoiler territory with a full summary. Ready? Here we go. Jack Delroy is a late-night TV host in the 1970s, having a very successful run. He seems at the top of his game, having a wide audience, a loving wife, and the admiration of thousands of fans. However, he never seems to get quite to the #1 spot in terms of shows, failing to match up to the impressive power of Johnny Carson. Things begin to drop down farther for Jack when his wife Madeline dies of cancer, and the ratings of his show drop pretty fast as the program loses its spark. There's rumors of Jack's longtime involvement in a vacation spot for the rich, and arcane powers being at play. But that doesn't stop Jack from planning to host the best night ever for his Halloween special. The following we are about to see is the real footage from the show that shocked the nation, as well as never before seen behind-the-scenes clips. Okay, for starters, I loved the framing device for this. This feels so authentic to the times, and it gives this one a really unique look to stand out against other typical found footage horror. I don't really watch any late night TV, but I do have a friend who claims to, so let me call him up real quick. Hey, Ken.
Hello.
Buddy, how typical would you say this is to real late night television? How accurate is it?
This is really accurate to late night television because it also takes place at late night.
That's it?
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you, Ken.
I just shit my pants.
Okay. These characters feel so real, the setting coming right out of a program. That adds to the true horror when things start to really ramp up. I also love how many twists and turns this one had, with several shocking reveals that made the whole story flip over and over and over again. Once the first surprise happened a little over 20 minutes in, I was glued to the screen from start to finish. I did get a little confused at the ending at first, but given some time, I think it really landed. Now, I do have one major complaint that did really hurt this movie's overall score. When it cuts to commercial breaks, we get an image that welcomes us back to the show. This movie uses AI-generated images for these, which I do not appreciate. It could not have been that hard to hire a real artist. I've got a policy where if a film uses generative AI at any point during the production, I remove an entire star from the rating, so I will be employing that here. Now we're gonna get a little deeper into the plot and into some spoilers. If you want to skip, head to this time. Ready? 3, 2, 1, boo. The first guest on Jack's show this evening is a medium named Christo, who claims to speak to the dead. He gets a few standard readings in before claiming to get an intense voice from someone named Minnie, who no one seems to recognize. He appears to get very sick when the next guest comes on, being a magician named Carmichael, who doesn't believe in the supernatural. He debates Christo for a little while before the medium begins to freak out. Jack then says he believes the spirit of Minnie was calling to him, since that was a private nickname for his late wife Madeline. Christo collapses, throwing up black blood all over the stage when the studio cuts to commercial. In between the broadcasts, Christo is taken to the hospital as Carmichael raves on about how that was an act from a scam artist. Jack wrangles the crew and cast back into place as they welcome their next guest, a doctor named June and her study, Lily. Jack tells the audience that Lily came from a cult compound that claimed to worship a demon named whatever the fuck, and after the compound was burned down, Lily was the only one to escape, seemingly having the demon inside of her. Jack interviews the two of them, much to the skeptic of Carmichael. He seems weirded out by Lily's odd demeanor, but manages to convince June to summon the demon in Lily to prove the existence of the supernatural. During the commercial break as they set up, Jack learns that Christo has died on his way to the hospital. Shaken, he continues with the show, watching as June summons the demon from Lily. Her body twitches as she begins to physically change, speaking in a demonic voice and calling out to Jack directly. It claims to know him personally, having met him in a ceremony before. It then goes into a tangent about how bad June wants to bang Jack before sending the girl floating into the air. June manages to get Lily back from the possession, her profusely apologizing for whatever she said during the takeover. In the next break, Jack learns that this is currently the most successful show ever, which gives him the motivation to continue with the planned events. Back on air, Carmichael doubts what was seen, claiming hypnosis instead. He offers to prove his theory, getting Jack's assistant on stage, Gus, to partake in the session. Forcing Gus and the camera to train on a spinning watch, he gets the man to feel overwhelmingly hot before pointing out a gaping wound on his neck, full of worms. Gus writhes in agony while the audience watches in horror, amping up to 11 when Gus rips open his own body and a giant worm climbs out of his eye. Carmichael tries snapping to break the spell, but this does nothing to stop the effect. After another moment of torture, Gus breaks out of it, revealing no wounds and no worms. Carmichael reveals he hypnotized the entire audience to see the illusion, having the studio rewind the tape to prove that nothing out of the ordinary happened during his act. Wanting to challenge this, Jack has the studio pull up the footage of Lily, revealing the exact thing that everybody saw the first time. Carmichael tries bringing up the argument of tampering with the footage, when Lily stands up and begins to suck the energy out of the studio. Her face splits open and she snaps Gus's head around, drags June up by her necklace to sever her throat, and melts Carmichael's body from the inside out. What the hell? The transmission crackles out as a corrupting face peers in. But this isn't the end of the movie, dear viewers. We then leave the framing device, moving to a more standard cinematic view. Jack is seen confused wandering through the events we saw at the beginning of the film, detailing his earlier time in his career. This all culminates with him screaming at us to stop the program, then seeing his dying wife in a strange room. Here we loosely get the reveal that Jack unknowingly sacrificed his wife to receive his desired status as the most watched late-night TV show, having performed this on the vacation spot for the rich. She begs for death, and he complies, stabbing her, only to reveal that he had actually stabbed Lily. The camera zooms out, leaving Jack a screaming mess. Again, this was really good and so damn unique. I liked how many weird story beats this one brought up, and I think we get so much character for Jack from his persona on stage and then the more authentic one behind the scenes. This film really only falls a little short because of how much build-up there is. Those first 20 minutes are pretty sluggish, and okay, some of the effects look pretty cheesy, but hey, all else considered, this is pretty decent overall. I would give this 3.5 out of 5 stars, but as I said, I'm knocking a star off for the use of AI. That gives the final tally of 2.5 out of 5 stars. Thanks so much for watching my video. As for tomorrow's movie, when hunting for treasures beyond measure, don't be alarmed. Just abandon all hope, ye who enter here. Bye!